guys, I'm Jodi, a Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about my full TBR. I'm still going to do monthly TBRs, but I thought it would be fun to tell you about my whole full TBR from the beginning of September to the end of November. You still won't know what books I'm going to be reading each month because I'm not going to pick more books, obviously, to read in some months because I won't get through 3 months with only these books. But anyway, let's see what I'm going to read. There's 17 books on my full TBR, so I'll keep it short. I'll go quickly through it and see where we'll end up. The first book I'm really excited to read is Gemina by Amie, Kaufman and Kristoff. This is the second book in the Illuminate files. I read Illuminate this past year and I absolutely adored it. I gave it 5 stars, and Gemina is coming out in October. I have pre-ordered it and I am so ready for it, guys. I am going to read it as soon as it comes in. The second book I'm going to be reading is Someone I Want to Be by Aurelia Wills. This book is about a girl who steals her best friend's identity and pretends to be this other prettier girl, she thinks, to a much older man. The book I'm going to be reading is A House Without Windows by Nadia, Hashimi. I don't read about other cultures often, but this book is something completely out of my comfort zone, but the synopsis still really interested me. This book is about a woman whose husband gets murdered and her husband's family thinks she is the one that murdered him, so she gets arrested and brought to jail where she meets a group of women she really connects with. The next book I'm going to be reading is The Memory Book by Lara Avery. I have read A Million Miles Away by Lara Avery and didn't really like it, but the synopsis of this one sounds so great, I really need to read it. It's about a girl who has a disorder where she slowly loses her memories and she keeps a memory book. She writes all of her memories in it so she can read it back when she forgets. It sounds like a really emotional read and I am all for emotional reads, so I really want to give Lara Avery another chance. Then we have My Girl by Jack Jordan. I normally don't read thrillers, but this sounds like a really interesting thriller, especially because of the synopsis. A woman's husband gets killed and she finds a handgun in his items and she doesn't know why he would need a handgun, but in the synopsis it's talking from the point of a stalker, so it's a stalker story and it sounds really interesting. In the middle grade story, The Distance to Home by Jenn Bishop. This is about a girl who loses her big sister. She plays baseball and her sister always came to her matches, but now she doesn't know she even wants to play baseball if her sister isn't in the stands anymore. Again, sounds like a really emotional read. Don't really read middle grade, but it sounds cool, so I want to give it a chance. Then a collection of advice columns, How to Be a Person in the World by Havrilesky. I don't really know this. The column is called Ask Polly, but it sounds really interesting. It is an advice column where she answers questions like, why do I attract non-committal guys? Just basically everything, and I think it's supposed to be really funny, but I want to give this a chance. I haven't read non-fiction in a while, and maybe I'll get some good advice from it. The next book I'm going to be reading is a novella. It is called Iron to Iron, which is the novella After Wolf by Wolf and Before Blood by Blood, and I am really excited because I want to see the world from Lucas' perspective, who was one of the guys in the first book, and we get the same story but from Lucas, the love interest perspective. It's 100 pages, it's longer than a normal novella, and I love Lucas, so that is why I want to read it. And I'm really excited to read We Are the Ants by Shaun Hutchinson. I talked about this book in my Beautiful Covers of 2016 so far video. This is the to read book I mentioned. It is a science fiction book about a guy called Henry who keeps being kidnapped by aliens. He has 144 days to figure out if he wants to save the world by pushing a big red button. He has a really shitty life, but he thinks the world is worth saving, and then he meets an artist called Diego Vega, and he makes him question all of his beliefs, and he doesn't know if he wants to save the world anymore. He maybe has to save himself first, and the aliens didn't give him a button for that. Then I want to read the sequel to The Young Elites, The Rose Society by Marie Lu. I really liked Adelina in the first book and how she got darker and darker throughout the book, and I'm really excited to see how she's going to fare on into the second book now she is on her own. Then another sequel, Lair of Dreams, the second book in the Diviner series by Libba Bray. Really pretty cover, and I want to continue on with this series because the first book was surprisingly creepy and I was very intrigued by the whole story and all of the powers in the first book, and especially I was intrigued with the main character, Evie. She was very different from any character I ever read about. Then the third book in the Raven Cycle, Maggie Stiefvater, Blue Lily, Lily Blue. I am in love with the series and I need to finish it already, so I need to read the last 2 books so I can anticipate myself for the Ronin-centered trilogy that Maggie Stiefvater has been outlining, and I will have to wait forever to finally get to read that. But I still have the next 2 books to enjoy, and I don't know what will happen, but I have been spoiled for a ship that is going to happen, and I don't see how that is happening, but I guess I will find out. Tiger Lily by Jodi, Lynn, Anderson. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and this book has been on my TBR the longest, I think. It has literally been on my TBR for years, but I've never read it. And I've read the original Peter Pan, and I feel like I'm ready for this retelling of it. It is from Tiger Lily's perspective and her romance with Peter Pan before Wendy Darling comes into the picture. Sequel to The Knife of Never Letting Go, the second book in the Chaos Walking trilogy, The Ask and the Answer by Patrick Ness. This was on my summer TBR, and I think I'm still going to be able to read it in summer, but I'm also placing it on my full TBR because it is the only book from my summer TBR that I still haven't read, and I'm currently reading some other books, so I'm placing it on there because I do still want to continue on with the series. Sorry if the camera angle changed, but I had to lodge a book free from the stack of books that my phone is balanced on for filming. The next book I'm going to be reading is a book I bought in a charity shop a long time ago, and I never actually go around to reading it, and that's Murder of a Medici Princess by Caroline P. Murphy. I was in love with the TV show Reign that follows Mary, Queen of Scots, Prince Francis, Queen Catherine, and Queen Catherine is a family member of the Medicis, and when I saw this in a secondhand bookshop, I was like, I need this in my life because I am so interested in history, and I've heard a lot about the Medicis also in my art history class when I was in high school. I am excited for this. It's not too thick. I think I can get through this. I just hope it won't be too dense. Then a sequel to The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, the second book in the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I read The Final Empire months and months ago, and I have been hesitant to read on this series because all of the books are so thick, and I've been pushing it back and further, and now I think I need to continue on with this series because I do really like Brandon Sanderson's writing style. I have read Warbreaker by him, and I have read 2 short stories by him, and I have read The Final Empire. I don't know why I keep pushing it back, but I'm going to read this fall. I am so looking forward to seeing more from Vin and Ellen and how everything is going after the ending of the 3rd book. And then the last book on this TBR is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This book I'm going to specifically read in October because I am in the Ostentatious Book Club, which is read by Zoe. She has this book club where we read all of Jane Austen's books, and next month I think we are going to read a book I've already read. I think Persuasion is on the planning, but I've already read that one, so I am not going to read along for that. But in October is Northanger Abbey, which I haven't read, so I will buy that one in the beautiful Penguin Classics edition, which I'm loving. And then I will read Northanger Abbey along with his book club, which I will link down below if you're interested in that. So this is my full TBR. Again, it's obviously not all of the books I'm going to be reading in the upcoming 3 months because I will probably get through this in 2 months, and then I still have a month. I don't know. We'll see what changes. Let me know what you're going to be reading during the fall. Are you going to be reading any of the books I'm reading? Have you read any of the books I will be reading? Let me know what you thought about them. I would love to know. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.